It appears as though Kris Jenner's inconveniences are stacking up quicker than at any other time in a stunning development. The IRS is supposedly hammering Kris over charges of tax avoidance through her California People Group church. This could have serious ramifications for Kris and everybody related with her. The IRS guarantees that Kris has been endeavoring to sidestep charges for herself, as well as for her youngsters, overwhelmingly of cash, all the while assuming a pretense of the congregation. Assuming that these claims turn out as expected, it could mean difficulty for Kris, as well as for her whole family, too. The potential repercussions are huge. The IRS has the influence to seal Kris ledgers and properties, which could bargain a staggering catastrophe for her funds and notoriety. And assuming crook allegations are brought against her, it could mean prison time for Kris and those required as the examination unfurls. One thing's for sure, Kris Jenner's life is going to get significantly more muddled. Stay tuned on the grounds that this could be the start of the end for the Kardashian matron. Kris established the California People Group Church in 2009. It was recently known as the Life Change Church, and its lead minister is Brad Johnson. He is a family companion of the Kardashians and Cuckwatchers. Could recall him for directing Khloe Kardashian and Lamar Oddom's wedding. Some might see it as a shock that Kris established her own congregation anyway. The family has a well-established relationship with religion and is routinely seen on their shows making petitions. And they likewise cause posts about it on their virtual entertainment. To the main pressing concern many individuals to appear to have, with Kris having her own congregation, is that there has been some hypothesis throughout the long term over the genuineness of her having a congregation. The principal worry of this is on the off chance that Kris chose to establish her own congregation, so she could involve it as a duty right off inside the congregation. There is a training that is known as giving, which is where it is standard to give 10% of one's profit back to the congregation. This set a ton of people talking in regards to Kris on the grounds that it's commonly realized that she takes 10% of every last bit of her kids' profit. And many found this to an extreme degree and over-the-top happenstance to accept that there was nothing off-putting behind her establishing her own congregation. This may not seem like anything that anybody essentially should have one or two glaring misgivings about as of now, especially as numerous directors will frequently take somewhere near 10% of their clients' income anyway. It was accounted for by Radar Online that the California People Group Church was associated with a duty embarrassment after it neglected to pay any duties during its initial, not many years. Kris Church not paying any assessments could confound some regarding the reason why this was an expense embarrassment, as it's additionally well realized that temples are excluded from paying government, state, and neighborhood burdens anyway. They truly do need to pay charges on their finance costs, which is by all accounts what Kris neglected to do in this example. Doesn't seem like something a business smart lady like Kris would do. There are a few different issues in regards to cash and Kris' congregation that likewise become an integral factor here, one of which is that there have been a couple of events where the Kardashians have been engaged with some foundation barters on eBay and have given the cash produced using these deals to the California People Group Church, which would get them out of paying any expense on that cash. The other issue is the enrollment expense that the congregation charges. Many chapels will shift what they charge for their churchgoers. Some will charge an obligatory expense. Some will ask that individuals pay 10% of their profit, yet won't make this compulsory, and others will request a little commitment at whatever point somebody goes to their congregation. Anyway, the California People Group Church charges $11,000 each month to have the option to go to their congregation. So it unquestionably appears as though something else for the rich and well-off, yet disregarding that it would likewise appear to be that this participation charge gives Kris considerably more cash than what she as of now makes, which many are disturbed about. On the off chance that you feel that is the just misleading embarrassment Kardashians are associated with, you are off base. The entire circumstance gives off an impression of being very dubious, and it positively appears to be obscure as f yet. It actually doesn't end there on the grounds that a ton of things actually don't make any sense about Kim's funds and individuals are persuaded that she has been expanding her normal organization. Listen, these criminals' pockets have openings in them. And this is the sort of obscurity that is the same old thing to the Kardashians in light of the fact that we as a whole recollect how Kylie was uncovered by Forbes for lying about how much her Kylie Beauty Care Products brand was worth. And she wound up losing her tycoon status. Well, Kim is still authoritatively noted as an extremely rich person, yet individuals feel that she doesn't behave like it. Last year, she was explored by the SEC after she promoted the digital currency Ethereum Max, without adding a disclaimer to show that it was a supported promotion, and she had gotten compensated to do as such by publicizing, without expressing that it was an advertisement. She had participated in a siphon and dump plot that was pointed toward expanding the cost of cryptographic money before it was offered to financial backers. And she was fined $1.26 million. Individuals have brought up how strange it is that Kim would in any case be running promotions on Instagram, even as an extremely rich person, since that is positively not extremely rich person conduct. It's giving more Instagram powerhouse as opposed to tycoon finance manager. And this is another explanation individuals believe that Serene she isn't quite so rich as she believes us should think. And as per Caney, individuals are correct about that. While Kim is certainly distant from the Opuro young lady, she has way less cash than individuals naturally suspect. And for this reason, Caney was consistently mindful, so as to keep his cash separate from hers in any event. When their marriage was all the while going great, he never needed to get monetarily restricted with her, since he realized that he would lose huge load of cash by the day's end. A source addressed Individuals magazine and said they keep their records fundamentally separate. See, some time ago, before Kim was renowned, she functioned as a shut colleague for vocalist Cognac. Yet Kim did her grimy on the grounds that she took from liquor. As the shut collaborator, Kim approached Bryce Visa for in one time anyway, after Kim quit working for Cognac. She, alongside Chloe and Ransack, made the most of the entrance and took $120,000 from Bryce's mom. This means Kim clutched the MasterCard subtleties for a really long time and held on until she accepted sufficient time elapsed prior to completing the burglary. Yet to exacerbate the situation, they attempted to be slippery and conceal the documentation by spending the taken cash at their stores Run and Kiss, as opposed to utilizing it straightforwardly. To keep away from doubt, they utilized the taken cash to cause it to seem like authentic pay from their dress stores, since they figured it would be more earnestly to exchange, since liquor purchases a ton of garments anyway. They were discovered in the act at first. Bryce's mom offered Kim the chance to return the cash without including the law in view of her relationship with liquor and BeamJ. Yet, when she didn't compensate the cash for north of a year, she chose to